Today is my follow-up to my last MJ video. I've never had so much controversy over one post that I've made, and it obviously evoked a lot of emotion, which is fantastic because it means people are really passionate about it. I guess when I first saw the video, I just came off watching the documentary, and I had a big emotional reaction to the video, and I just responded how I felt. Maybe that wasn't the best approach to respond with just how I feel. There's not really fact and evidence within my feelings, they're just my feelings, but I connected to that documentary on a lot of different levels. I connected to it as a parent, I connected to it as people who are very close to me who are survivors of abuse. So it did trigger a lot of emotions, and maybe that was the entire intention of that documentary. It was well filmed, it was well edited. It was really, really long, so they had a long time to buy you into the documentary. Look, I just felt emotionally connected to that doco, and there have been a lot of discrepancies that have arisen since that documentary, and also since we made the filming. Some of the things that don't make sense to me now and seem like blatant lies was stuff like James Safechuck. I think he said one of the big ones is the train station in Neverland. He was claiming that the abuse was taken between 1988 to 92 within the Neverland train station, and it's just come into YouTube, social media, and the world that in fact the train station wasn't built until 1994. So that's really hard to connect those dots, because it's not a little mistake, it's a big mistake. It's 2 years after the allegations, and he was claiming there was a 4-year period within it that he was being abused, and it didn't actually happen during that time. And it's really kind of pulling the documentary apart. I guess another thing for me that I saw was like Oprah jumped on the bandwagon. I've watched Oprah my whole life. For me, I was like, oh, that must be a trustful source. And I guess that's me maybe not doing enough research. It's just everything was one after the other of going on emotions and feelings. But the good thing about Oprah is I don't think it was just about her saying MJ's guilty, blah blah blah. She was actually bringing awareness to this type of abuse, and I still think that that's really powerful and really valid. That show was still valid. There was a lot of abuse survivors on Oprah's show, and they were talking about grooming and their experiences, and I still think it's a very, very important topic, even though the main focus was Michael Jackson. Wade Robson, on the other hand, has a history of lies and deception. I mean, this has been going on and on again. It's something we've read about in tabloids and news for many, many years. And despite the fact that he's been cheating on women, broken relationships, not trustworthy, as a choreographer, I think Robson was allegedly low on funds when getting fired from Cirque du Soleil, which was a big gig for the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show. And soon after, he filed a lawsuit against MJ claiming sexual abuse charges. So, along with all these little bits and pieces, it is hard to believe, again, that the documentary is not full of lies. And even the director of the documentary now is saying, yes, in fact, that those dates don't add up, etc., etc. So, at the end of the day, I still feel the same way that Michael Jackson was sleeping in a bed with young children, and I know people keep arguing that fact, like, it's okay, he was different. And
there are some people who believe that having always been on stage, you've never had to deal with the real world. Yeah, that's true in one way. That's true in one way, but it's hard to in my position. I try to sometimes, but people won't deal with me in that way because they see me differently. They won't talk to me like they will the next door neighbor.
I just still think, as a 34-year-old man, it's not okay. It's not okay to sleep with a person, a stranger's children in your bed. I just don't feel good about that. And if you think that's cool, then fine, voice your opinion. It's totally cool to sleep with underage children of a person you've just met. Michael Jackson, it was just different. The dude was like a god. You know, we grew up with him. We felt like we knew him through his music. We were just, you know, how this on social media now, we're flooded with entertainment and information. It's like back then social media wasn't as big, but Michael Jackson was flooding every network that we had accessible. He was flooding radio. He was flooding, you know, all of our TV stations and MTV. That's all we watched on television while we were playing Snake on our Nokia phones. You know, we didn't have that type of access that we do now. So I'm just a small town guy in Melbourne. I'm a music producer. I love songwriting and making music for a living. I am still an MJ fan. I still will listen to his music. Will we ever know the truth? I don't want to believe MJ's innocent. I really do. And I just think that we are never going to know the truth. But I know you diehard MJ fans are going to tell me, how can you say that? He's innocent. Well, fine, whatever. At the end of the day, Michael Jackson was an incredible artist, and his music is something that we all connected with on many different levels.
They've learned about me and know about me from a distance. But if you really want to know about me, there's a song I wrote, which is the most honest song I've ever written. It's the most autobiographical song I've ever written. It's called Childhood.
Have you seen my childhood?
They should listen to it. That's the one they really should listen to.
You're so damn disrespectful.